Okay, so this video we are analyzing for Félix the Cat from Grand Falls, and this is a spring game for Alex. This is the second game we've analyzed, and I have to say that the difference in his play and his ability to implement the changes that were suggested to him from his first video analysis to this one, very impressive. You're a very good student of the game, and as I said, you were able to make the changes necessary, and we'll be able to demonstrate those changes. And I know that you noticed those changes in your game. This first play is a situation where you're going to make a really nice save on a tip from the point. You're in a really good position. There's absolutely no rebound that's given up, and I really like your movement. The only thing that I would point out to you is I would like to see you get familiar or become familiar with playing a little bit further out of your net, just a little bit more depth away from your posts. So let's watch this one, Félix. So on that play, I'm going to turn off the volume. Let's just back it up just a little bit. If we back it up, what I'd like to see is I would like to see you're almost to the top of your blue paint. I'd like to see you outside your blue paint right there, because when you're in those positions, when there's a possible tip, you are going to take away the angle that the puck can travel to beat you on those tips. Félix, on this next play, this is one thing that we mentioned in the first video, and I noticed you doing it less now than you were before, but you still have a tendency to lean to your right, to your trapper side, when there's a shot coming in. And I think I'd like you to just think about this after you watch it. And my thought is that positioning is so important, and shots are going to be coming so quickly that oftentimes, and maybe I mentioned this before, goaltenders make saves just based on their ability to be well positioned. And this one's going to beat you to the blocker side where you're leaning to your trapper side. Not saying that that's the reason why it had room to go in, but I think that we really need to focus on you getting your stance upright as opposed to leaning off to the right. Leaning off to the right is okay, of course, when you are looking for a puck through a screen, right? And it's a right-handed shot, and that's where you have to look. But other than that, we'd really like to see you get that stance upright. So if we take a look, right there, the puck is visible around that screen. So the puck was visible right here, and you don't have to be looking around this person for the puck, right? And the other thing is you could be over just that little bit, right? To make sure, just use those little micro adjustments in your shuffling to make sure that you are square and on angle. And it beats your blocker side. So something to think about there moving forward. And again, you know that I don't put goals in here to rub it in that goals get scored. Goals are going to get scored on goaltenders, Félix. But just those tiny little adjustments on really fast, hard shots, I think are going to make a difference for you. This next play, Félix, is going to be a demonstration of how you have improved from the last time that I was able to see a game of yours, because as a player's coming down your blocker side, you are shuffling as opposed to just skating backwards. But I do want you to pay attention to your weak side. It's still trailing a little bit, and it's not quite square, but you're definitely moving in the right direction in terms of your development. And so let's just take a look and see. Nice save too, right? It was a nice save, but let's work on to make sure that we're shuffling and staying square. On this next play, Felix, I would like to point out that your post-to-post movement is getting better. I really like your windows here, but I really want you to pay attention to your left skate. And as you go post-to-post, what you need to do is you need to make sure that you get a really good seal. If we take a look at this play as it develops and that puck comes behind the net and you follow it around, that pass that comes out front is actually going to go off your skate blade. And I don't mean the toe of your skate blade. I mean the middle of your skate blade, which should be tucked in with your pad if you're going to stay up on the post. So let's just take a look at that and see. So that's nice, very nice. Okay. But right there you could see that that puck came out and your blade was out in front of the post out here, right? And that puck came out and hit your blade here. And really that shouldn't happen. What's going to happen if that continues to happen in your game, if you have your blade out there, if that were out anymore and you were on any more of an angle, then I think we know the physics of it. It's going to go off your blade and in the net. So again, your windows were fantastic. You had your 1, you had your 2, you had your 3, and then you got over to your post. We just need a little bit better seal down here on the post to make sure that we finish off that movement in a very effective way. This next play, Felix, I think you just do this naturally. I'm not sure. Your dad may have worked with you on this. I'm not sure, but if he did, then I'm glad that he did, because he's teaching you some really good techniques. You use the overlap here, and the overlap is really good when the puck is outside the dot lane. So when I talk about the dot lane, I'm talking about this lane right here all the way up and down the ice in between the dots. So as long as the puck is outside the dot lane and below the bottom of the circle down here where the shots are going to be taken from down in this area, then the overlap on a strong side shot, and on your trapper side that's going to be a right-handed shot, and on the blocker side it's going to be a left-handed shot, then the overlap takes away absolutely everything from the shooter. And if we let this play out right here, this is a really good use of the overlap with that right-handed shot with the shot below the circle. So it's a really good save selection here, Felix. Well done. On this next play, Felix, I have a question for you, and I'm just going to ask you, how's your depth on this save? You're going to make a save with the right pad, and I'm just going to ask you to think about your depth, and I'm going to ask you to think about why you were where you were when you made this save. So let's just let this play out and see. So the shot's going to come in. So your depth, you were way back in here, right? And the puck was out here. So a better depth for you might be out here. But again, I would just like to ask you what your thinking is, and you can talk that over. Maybe send me a message if you want. Just let me know why you were back here on that shot as opposed to up here. And again, you might have a very good reason for it. So it's just a discussion question. On this play, Felix, one of the things that I talk about with goalies, and I'm sure you've heard this before, but the puck is the threat, not the player. So I'd just like to see, I'd like you to take a look at the angle at which you challenge on this shot. And this is going to be a goal. Goal or no goal, it doesn't matter. You could have made the save, and I could have the same point to make with you, or the same question for you. And that is, did you challenge the threat, or did you challenge the player? So it's going to come out from behind. Right, and it was a bang-bang play. So if we back that up and we want to watch it again, what I want you to watch is, as you come over, right, are you making any head checks to see what's out here? Quick shoulder checks. And then when you come off the post, do you challenge the man or do you challenge the puck? My sense is that you challenge the man as opposed to the puck, right? And that's what left that side open. So again, anytime a goal goes in, it's nothing to fret over. It's sometimes it's a bad bounce, sometimes it's a fluky shot that takes 4 deflections. But in a situation like this, it's something to learn from. So just remember that the puck is always the threat, and that's where you want to challenge. I just wanted to highlight here, this is a really good post-to-post play by you. And when you go post-to-post, you do get a really good seal on that left post. So let's just take a look right here. Good seal right here. Take a look. There's your windows. You check. And very nice. Very nicely done. This is something that all goaltenders have to learn. And that is when shots are going wide, they have to learn when to let those go and when to possibly play them. And shots that are going wide from certain angles are going to bounce right back out on the other side. And if there's somebody there, we're just not going to get there if we choose to play that puck when it's going behind the net. So we have to learn to play with inside our posts, right? So if we learn to play inside our posts, the more that we can play inside our posts, the better. The less time we play out here, the better off that we are going to be. So if we just watch this play develop, you can take a look and see there is no real threat over on the other side, right? The puck is going to come in from this side, and there is no real threat over here. And possibly you would play it differently if there were a threat there. But I'd just like you to be mindful of the fact that sometimes we just have to let pucks go. And what we have to do is, if a shot's coming in on this side over here, we just have to get back to our posts and then over, as opposed to playing the puck out here and then having to get from here all the way over to this side of the ice. All right? So let's just watch and see what happens here. So there was no real threat there. There was no threat of a deflection. There was no threat of bad ice. There was no threat of a puck deflecting off of a defenseman and going in. So those are the types of pucks that we can just let go. And in the run of a weekend, let's just say that you play 6 games, you play 4 round robin games, a semi and a final, and you're the only goalie that's playing, Felix. The less up and down that you have and the less movement that you have, the better off you're going to be the longer that tournament goes. So keep that in mind, right? So Felix, what I want to show you right here, nothing bad happens here. There's no scoring opportunity that happens, but what I want you to be mindful of is whenever that puck is inside your zone, I don't want you to think ill of your team or think that your teammates aren't good hockey players, but you need to be ready for them to make a turnover at any time. You don't ever have to tell them that that's the way you're thinking, but you have to be ready for them to make a turnover at any time. And when the puck is inside your line, right, here's the blue line up here, red line up here. Once that puck is in the zone, you have to be ready. So you're going to be back here and there happens to be a turnover. If that turnover happened to him right on his blade, you need to be out here and you need to be ready. Okay, so let's just take a look and watch what happens here. Hey, that puck comes in, it's all the way into the hash marks, and it's a turnover. All right, you were able to play it, right? And you played it to your defenseman and played it right, unfortunately, into his skates. But if you had been up at the top of the crease, all of a sudden that blocker hand slides up to the top of your stick, and you can make a pass just like that third defenseman. So just a reminder, whenever that puck is in your zone, make sure that you are set and that you are ready at any time for anything to happen. Even though you may have the best hockey players in New Brunswick on your team, they are going to make mistakes sometimes and turnovers are going to happen. And everybody depends on the goaltender to be ready for that. Here again, Felix, I want to highlight the difference in your play from the first video to the second. And what we're going to see here in quick succession is we're going to see some really nice post-to-post movements by you. And those are conscious decisions by you to change your game. So congratulations. It's really nice to see. So let's just take a look. Good seal post-to-post. You're out, ready, challenging. Very nicely done. What I wanted to highlight with you here, Felix, is again, it's some improvement in your game. One, you're not wasting a lot of energy and movement while the puck's at the other end. This is a time for you to relax, focus on your breathing, get refocused and ready for the next play. And as the puck moves down your blocker side, I just wanted to highlight the differences between 2 weeks ago and today. You're moving with the puck, tiny little shuffles, and you're staying square and you're ready. Really nice to see in your game, Felix. And look at that depth too. You're out, right? Sometimes you tend to hang out back in here, but that's really nice. Outside your crease, heels right on top of the blue paint. Fantastic to see. That's a nice change for you, Felix. Very good job. So Felix, on this play, I wanted to highlight that you use the overlap for a right-handed shot on your trapper side, which is good. And what I'd like to see though is I'd like to just see a little bit, I'd like to see you a little bit further out of your net because the puck is way over in the corner. And when you go down, I want you to notice you create a triangle right here, okay, between your shoulder, your elbow, and your glove. And if you're a little bit further out, if that triangle that you create, that shot's going wide, as opposed to where you are when this shot is taken and that triangle is created, it could open up this part of the net right here. So I just want you to take a look at that and see what an increased depth for you would do, as opposed to being here, being out here when that shot is taken. Still using the overlap because there is no threat in the middle coming. Post is good right there. Okay, out, good. Okay, so I'm just going to back it up just a little bit. Okay, so there's a part of the net that is open right here. So if that puck had tipped, okay, that's going in right there because of where you are. If you're out here, that same shot, there's no chance for that puck to go in, right? That's going to go wide on you. So just a little more depth, because if you take a look, that shot, where it's coming from, you've put the rebound here, which is fantastic. Okay? There's only one threat out here. This guy's got him. So what I want to emphasize here with you, Felix, is that lean. So I know your dad's out on the ice with you quite a bit, and I know that you're a very quick learner. So that's one thing that I want you to be very cognizant of is that lean, and you lean over to your left-hand side. So let's just take a look here and see. And in this situation, that's a left-handed shot. So for you to lean over to your right, you're leaning away from the puck, right? So let's be mindful of that lean that we have and try to adjust that over the next 10, 12 hours on the ice. It's not going to happen overnight, but with a cognizant, conscious effort, you can change that. On this play, I'd like you to have a discussion with your dad, or, I'm a goalie, you're a goalie. Sometimes we just have discussions with ourselves, pretty much whole game, right? We talk to ourselves all the time. So what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to focus on this, and I'd like you to reflect on this play and see if you could be less, I guess I'll use the word scrambly, right? Let's watch this play out and count how many times you go right to left to left to right to right to left. So that's something that I just like you to think about. And how could you change your game so that a situation like this ends up with a better result for you? This is a nice sequence of saves for you, Felix. I just wanted to include this for you. Finding that puck. Nice save. Good recovery. They keep the puck in. Nice save. Okay, well done. The only thing I might suggest there on that one is, again, you're fairly deep. Get yourself out here. Okay, get yourself out here and make that save. You take away a lot more of the net because you are a big goaltender, right? So maybe just a little bit more depth, but that's a nice sequence of saves for you right there. I'm sure your teammates appreciated that. Another nice save right here, Felix. Oh, I lost my spot. I'm just going to go back to it. This is a nice save coming across right here. Square, nice save, right? The only thing I would like to highlight on this one is this. Let's back it up. When you get up, when you recover from that save, okay, you're going to come across. Okay, when you recover from this save, okay, you need to recover to your post. Okay, you need to recover to your post. So it could be that you're up with your left leg and a tiny push back to the middle, right? And then a seal into your post with the RVH. Okay, that'd be a good opportunity for you to use that. Okay, or simply you're going to spin your body and you're going to use your right leg to push yourself back to the post. But either way, with that rebound coming over here, okay, what we want to do is we want to make sure that we get in tight in here as quickly as possible. So if we watch that recovery one more time, okay, we want to get into that post, and we want to get into a habit of getting into that post and sealing that off with a rebound like that as soon and as quickly as we possibly can. But that was a nice save, buddy. Okay, Felix, so this would be another situation where we need that recovery to be faster, and we need that recovery to be right to our post, because that rebound's going to end up right back in here, right? And in a situation where someone is quick enough and agile enough and smart enough, they're going to try and jam that puck in on you because you leave space there when you get up. Okay, so let's just take a look at this play right here. Shot's going to come in, trapper side low. Okay, and you get up right here. Okay, and all this person has to do is going to go get that puck. If he decides to take that puck and throw it right here, it's going in off you, right? Because you've created a gap between the post and yourself. So what you need to do is you need to get down on that post. You can RVH it if you want, right? And then you're in a good position to go from your left to your right, or you're also in a good position if he throws it back out front to this guy driving the net, then you're in a position for a save. But your recovery, I think just like on that last play, your recovery has to be to that post. Just wanted to highlight here, this is a nice save. No rebound given up. I don't know if this is near the end of a shift or if your guys are tired, but oftentimes when shots come in like this, goaltenders, they give up rebounds and their guys just have to keep playing and playing and playing. This is a really good job by you to take this right in the torso and bring those gloves in underneath and get a whistle. Very good. Watch that lean, though. You're still leaning a little bit, buddy. Some good things here, Felix, on this play that I wanted to highlight. It's getting maybe past the midway point of the game, and sometimes at this point, mentally we're getting tired. So I want you to be mindful of the fact that on your shuffles, okay, that weak side is dragging just a little bit, so kind of a regression. So we're still working on that. We are getting better, though. Really appreciate the work you're putting in there. And what I wanted to highlight here is I really like the post-to-post play on this, and especially like going from your left over to your right. And then I really like the push off the post and getting a really great angle on that shot. That was a really nice save. So let's take a look here. Okay, there you go. Another good example of your improved post-to-post play. Some really good windows here. Let's take a look. Nicely done. I wanted to highlight your patience here. This is a nice save. This is a 3-on-1 in tight, and a lot of patience demonstrated by you, not guessing where that puck is going to go and staying focused and down, head down on that puck. There's that turnover we talk about, and look, you were out and you were ready for that. And that's just a nice save. That is a nice save, buddy. Okay, combination of several really good things that we saw there from you. So this is a play that some people may say is nothing, but it demonstrates the fact that you are working hard on your game to do things well and to do things correctly. And it's just some micro adjustments that you're making as that puck is coming in and not giving up any rebound on the shot. So let's just take a look. Look at your depth. That is fantastic. There's the top of the crease right there, and you're way out here. That is fantastic. Tiny little micro adjustments that you're making in your shuffles. You're not making one huge shuffle. You're making 2 or 3 minor shuffles, just tiny shuffles to make sure that you're getting there. Right? And you take that puck right in the middle of the chest. No rebound whatsoever. That's very nice to see. This is going to be another play, Felix, where you're going to be patient and you're not going to guess, and you're going to make a nice save here. I believe there's a tip on this shot as well, or at least a tip attempt on this shot. So this is really nicely done. Let's just take a look here and see. Nice. Very well. Very well done. So this is going to highlight for you, Felix, one of the things that I'd like you to work on is I'd like you to work on the overlap to the RVH recovery. And I mentioned that maybe a little bit earlier as well. So this is maybe the second or the third instance that we've talked about this. And what we're going to find is that puck is going to move down this wing. You're going to shuffle over to it. You're going to play the overlap because it's a left-handed shot. And that puck is going to lay down in this area down in here. And what we need for you to do is we need you to go from the overlap. It's just a push in and then get sealed on the post. But what we have to be careful of when we make that push is we don't push too far in, so that in this case our right pad is becoming an option for a rebound into the net. What we want is we want to make sure that when we push that we get that seal this way with our pad on that angle, as opposed to this angle where they can use it as a rebounder to go into the net. So if we watch this play right here develop, okay, some shuffles, okay, to get to that puck, okay, you've overlapped, okay. Now what we want to see, this puck is a threat right here. What we want to see is we want to see this leg, okay, drive in, okay. On this play, we're going to see another save by you, Felix. and you're not going to give up any rebound. You're going to be able to absorb this puck, which is really nice. It's nice when goaltenders are sticky and the puck sticks to them. But what I want you to pay attention to is your depth. You're going to make that save back in here, where that save can be made out here, because as you move up in your levels, the further back you play, unless you're 6'6", it makes a big difference when you play here versus when you play here. The amount of movement that's required by you to make a save and the amount of net that is visible to shooters behind you. So again, this is going to be a nice save that you make, right? Some nice shuffles over, okay? It just would be nice to see you get comfortable further out of your net. This again, nice save, Felix. You get your left pad on this and the rebound heads away from the net. It's not going to be a threat again. But again, your depth is what I want you to pay attention to, and moving forward to be cognizant of. So right now, you're playing the overlap. It's a right-handed shot. We don't really need to use the overlap when the puck is up this high, but because it's going to open up the far side of the net on you, right? So this side of the net is going to be exposed if you play the overlap when the puck is too high. But the other thing I want you to be cognizant of is you're going to make that save back here when this save can be made up here, and be careful of the use of that overlap when the puck is too high up the boards. So overall, Felix, I wanted to point out that I really love the fact that you can really sense that you are very calm in the net. Your team needs that. Every team needs that from their goalie, and not all goalies can provide that to their team, and that's something that you provide to your team, that sense of calm, and you're under control. And what happens is your team can sense that, and it gives them confidence, right? When you have confidence, when a goaltender has confidence, it gives the players confidence that are playing in front of them. So that's one thing that seems very evident to me when I watch your play. I love it. A couple of things for you to keep in mind. I'd like you to use, you're doing a great job with your shuffles, and the fact that you're moving when the puck is moving down the wing, you're doing a much better job staying square to that puck all the time. What I'd like you to try to incorporate is I'd like you to try to incorporate more, we just call them micro adjustments, right? They're just tiny shuffles. So instead of taking maybe 2 shuffles, you're taking 4 shuffles to get the same distance. I'd like you to be mindful of that lean that you have in your stance. You lean over to your left-hand side, and let's try to get that straightened up. And the last thing I'd like you to take note of is I'd like you to try and get a better seal, especially with that left skate on your post. I noticed that 2 or 3 different times. It doesn't ever seem to be a problem on your blocker side with your right skate, but just a little bit better seal with that left skate. And finally, Felix, I'd really like to just tell you that you must be really good in school, or you really love hockey and you really love goaltending, because it was really evident the learning that you did from the last video to this video. The adjustments that you made were fantastic, and it's very, very evident in your game. And if you keep making small adjustments like that every couple of weeks in your game, you are going to be, you already are a good goaltender, but sky's the limit for you, sir. So anyway, congratulations and good job, and good luck the rest of this spring.